Now that we're done with our Module 1 mid-module assessment and more importantly, our review of the first half of the module, we're going to move on to some new stuff. And we're going to move on today to practicing some division strategies. And to do that, we're going to use a tool that you've used before, a tape diagram, but we're going to use it in a totally new way. So up until now, in first and second grades, you've used tape diagrams with addition and subtraction. And you've drawn them proportionally. Let me show you what I mean by that. Right, so you have done things like, I don't know, maybe you added 7 and 3 to get 10. So you can see like the 7 is bigger than the 3 and the whole thing adds up to 10, right? So you've used them that way. Now we're gonna repurpose them and use them for division today. And let me show you how we're gonna do that. We are going to have a problem. Let's see. Problem's going to say something like Addie is making lemonade. She uses 2 slices in each cup. She uses 10 slices. I can't spell today. All in total. How many cups does she need? So the total thing we're trying to figure out, or the final thing we're trying to figure out, is how many cups she needs. We know the total amount, so we know that we have like total in division. 10 divided by 2 equals some number, and we know that this is the total. We know that this is the size of each group because we know that 2 slices are going in each cup or in each group. Size. And this is the number of groups. This should be familiar to you. This is very similar to the stuff we've done up until this point. What I'm going to teach you next is how to draw an array in a way that helps you begin to draw tape diagrams for division. So I'm going to draw a 2 by 5 array because I know that 2 times 5 is 10. And again, I know that this fact is one that you probably already know, but that's why we're using it, because I want to be more focused on the concept and using this tool in a new way than on a new fact. So I'm using an easier fact on purpose for you. So let's see, we have, let's use X's, they're a little bit easier. So we have 2 rows with 5 in it. And I am very aware that up until now, we have been very strict about the size of the row being the number of columns and the number of groups being the number of rows. And there was a purpose for that and a reason for that, and it really helped us identify our factors and understand what questions we're asking. But at this point, when we start to make tape diagrams, it begins to matter a little less. Because you become so familiar with identifying and connecting factors in a multiplication sentence to what they represent, from the problem. We've had enough practice at that now that we can change the order of them a little bit more in order to help us use strategies like this one. So I know that was a lot of words and a lot of language, but basically what I'm doing is giving you the okay to flip your array over sideways if you need to, so that the number in each group or the size of the group is shown here like I'm showing you now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a big rectangle around this, okay? Because this is the total number that I used. I'm going to label everything I know so far based on this. I know I've used 10 lemons, but I'm not sure how many cups. Okay. Well, how can I solve that? I know that there's 2 lemons in each cup, and conveniently, I have 2 lemons here, so I'll do it in a different color, but I can draw a line here. So that's 1 cup worth of lemons. And then I can do that again. This is 2 cups worth of lemons. And continue on, 3 cups and 4 cups and 5 cups. So 1 cup, 2 cup, 3 cups, 4 cups, and 5 cups. And I know now that there are 2 lemons. So this unit, that's what we call one rectangle here. in our developing tape diagram here, this unit is worth 2 lemons. And notice that every unit, every rectangle is worth the same amount. They're all identical. They're the same size. Now that's important because we've talked about in multiplication and division, the size of the groups have to be equal or it doesn't work. So it's not like, we'll go back to that 7 and 3 thing I showed you earlier with addition and subtraction. When you add and subtract, you can have different size groups putting them together with tape diagram. We can no longer do that with division and multiplication. So we've counted our units here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like I said. And we can now say that we have, I can get rid of that and say we have 5 cups. So we took 10 divided into groups of 2 and found out that we have 5 groups. Okay. Let's do another example. Okay. We could say that Owen is, well, my spacebar is not working, is collecting baseball cards. He puts 3 on each page of his baseball card book. He has 21 total baseball cards. How many pages does he fill? Same process that we just used. Okay. So we are going to, let me draw the problem out first. We have 21 total. We're dividing that into groups of 3. Sorry, let me let my dog out of my room here. She's starting to want her dinner. Sorry for the interruption, but she was starting to whine. So I have 21 total things divided into groups of 3, and I'm figuring out the number of groups. Again, this was the total, and this 3 here is the size of the group. In this case, how many cards he's putting on each page. So I'm going to draw an array. Again, I'm going to draw it in a way this time where my size of group is my number of rows. Again, I totally understand that that's like the opposite of everything I told you in the first 10 lessons, but it now is going to help you to do it this way. So 3 on the first page, 3 on the second page, 3 on the third page, and I keep going, so on and so on. 4 up to 15, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. I stop when I get to 21, right? Because now I have no cards left. I've put them all on a page. And I can put a rectangle around this. That's sort of a poorly drawn rectangle, but you'll get the point. And now I can identify what I know so far. Well, I know that contained in here in my book is 21 cards. I don't know how many pages I need yet. And I know, well, I'm going to find out here in a moment, that there's 3 on each page. 3 cards. So each unit is going to be 3 cards. Again, we call these sections units. And I'm going to keep making these units until I get to the end. Okay. So I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 pages. I have 7 pages. So 21 divided into the groups of 3 equals 7 groups. So again, this rectangle represents 7. This is 7. I'm sorry. This is 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And then I have 7 of those. I could have drawn this without the X's in there. I could have drawn this like this. 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups. And when I put this last line in, it makes my 6th and my 7th group. And now I could still say that I have 21 things in there because I know that each box is showing me 3. So this is how we're going to start, for this lesson. But eventually we're going to move to this where you don't have to put the whole array in there. You can just tell me that there are 3 things in here. You don't have to actually put them in there. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Because these are all the same, because I know that the units are equal, I can still group count, right? So this is where we're going with this sort of work. Right now, we're going to continue to put the arrays in, but soon, very soon, we will not have to. We can leave them blank. We can leave them empty just like this. And we can know that because we're doing multiplication division, the size of the groups have to be equal, in which case we just assume that there are 3 in each of these because they're all the same size. That's an introduction to how we can use tape diagrams to do division problems. Like I tell you every time, if you have any questions about this, I'm happy to answer them. Please just ask. All right. I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you.